Hello guys, welcome to my video. Today we're going to be talking about my LEDs, how I made them, and how long it took. It took about 4 months, only because I was on and off about the project, and because I bought all the parts separately. I had to code everything, I had to make everything, I had to solder everything. It was just kind of a hassle, but it was fun, because I like doing this type of stuff. As you can see, this is me coding, and in the end of this video, there's going to be a whole bunch of videos and time lapses about me doing all this.
Alright, so I know you guys been wondering to actually see the LEDs, and there you go. So these are the working LEDs so far. I have been using pretty thick wire. This is not very safe, but as you can see, if it focuses, that these are kind of just connected in a janky way. And this is all the supplies I got. That's my little thing of parts and everything. So, yeah. This all goes into these cables down to this place. And this thing is my clock. It keeps time with it has a little battery underneath it to keep the time. This is a Bluetooth receiver. This is the breadboard. You can prototype with it. And this is the Arduino Mega. And this thing is a lot bigger than the regular Arduino, as you can see. And it has 4 times more storage and space on it. So there you go. And this big thing is the power supply. 120 volts come in and 5 volts come out. They all go to these LEDs. And sorry about the flickering screen, but see if I tilt it. Nope. This is the code, and that's a little slider right there. This slider shows you the entire code, so it's pretty big, and it uses up 56% of the RAM on this thing and about 15% of the actual storage. So this thing, the Arduino Mega, is pretty big on its storage. So I know that most of you aren't interested in any code of any sorts. So I'm just going to show you what you do with these or how they work. But that's the code. So basically, the reason I bought these kinds and not the standard $15 RGB LED strip kits is that every single light on this one can be manually turned on and off however you want, creating effects like these, where one of them goes on, the other one turns off. And my plan for these is going to hang them up, not in this room, but up on the corners like that. And what I'm going to do that with is with these. I bought these things, which are LED channels. You can put these up on the corner of your room and have this little diffuser diffuse them. And I'm hoping that, I haven't tried it yet because I haven't hanged them up yet, that these actually look really good. Like that. And so far they do, and hopefully they will. And this entire computer is going to be in my closet. I'm going to make a hole in my wall to stick these through, and I'm going to stick it in this box. This box is hopefully going to work. And one of the things I'm going to put in it, and this thing is a smoke detector, and it's probably going to be maybe above or below, I don't know where to put it, but I want to be able to hear it just in case this thing starts smoking and spewing fireballs at my closet and clothes where everything is flammable. This is going to have once I'm done, this thing is going to tell, the little computer is going to tell, oh, the lights haven't been on for 5 minutes. How about we stop using this much energy on the big power supply and just shut it down, while keeping the smaller one running with the little USB cable. I can have this one off and save energy while I'm not using it. So, yeah. And this is where my
LEDs are gonna go. This is my room, and it's a little messy right now, but this is where the LEDs are gonna go. They're gonna go on the aluminum channels up on the little corner on the ceiling, and I need exactly 54.5 feet to cover my entire top section. And their little main hub is gonna go through a hole that's soon gonna be there, and it's gonna go all the way over to through that area, which is the other side of the hole, and it's gonna be on these storage racks, clothes racks, in a box. And hopefully, since I bought the white channels, they're not gonna be as noticeable as just regular LEDs hanging, and it's gonna look like minimalistic, I hope. Hello guys, and welcome back. As you can see, these are my LEDs. They are wonderful. They do what I want them to do. They're pretty sleek and slim, and that's what I wanted them to be like. As you can see, they are pretty simple on the first looks of it, when in actuality, this was such a hard thing to do. Make it all look nice and clean. So, but once it's done, it's looking really good. So I'm really happy about it. The channels are going all the way across the room. Every bit of my room is covered in the aluminum. But the one problem about them is that, let me turn it on, they don't go all the way around. This isn't something that I can do, or I could have done to help fix it, because my room is barely bigger than 15 meters. So this is 3 strips. They're all fully laid out, as much as I could use in around my room, and they still don't reach. There's about 1.5 feet about that I still need, and I'm not gonna go around out of my way and buy a 4th LED strip to fix it. So yeah, it's it kind of sucks, but it doesn't really, because since it's on the corner, when I'm sitting, I don't see it, and it's nice to save a little bit of energy, just a little bit, but oh well. And as you guys know, I was talking about my little remote and stuff, and then here it is. This remote is 17 buttons. Let's see, about, how much is that? 12 buttons are the modes, and then 5 other buttons are the functionality of the LEDs. So for numbers 1 and 3, they're different color temperatures. As you can see, this is on 1 right now. This is 3. It's a bit of a difference, but for number 2, it gets a little lighter. So when I'm in my room or something at night, it gets a little, I can put into a cozy mode or something, and it's pretty good. For numbers, for the rest of them, basically, they're different modes. As you can see, this one's a little moving, little white and cyan color. Number 9 is this other one. For number 6 is a pretty good one. It's the rainbow. It's something special about these LEDs compared to the standard ones is that these are individually addressable LEDs, which means that each LED can be a separate color, and the computer can tell them LED something over there, or like LED 100 and something, turn on, while all the other ones keep off. And they can do that since every single LED like basically has a little tiny computer chip in it, and it deciphers all the signals going through them and creates these cool effects. The top and bottom buttons are the brightness. As you can see, I can turn it down or up. I'll show you. See, we're going down, down, and down. This is about 70%. Now it's 60. Oops, there it is. That's 60. It's right above my mirror, and it's nice because it's from my bed. It's really nice and centered. And I made it. I was in school and I figured out about this little idea design. So it's nice. As you can see, it's cyan dots. The green dot is the 50%. Yellow, orange, and red. And that's 100% brightness. So far it's been working great. my code hasn't broken or anything, and I like it. So let's see. Let's put on a different mode. We can do 7. Oh yeah, and this one is the number 7 is a little rainbow line. So yeah. And for anybody wondering why there's such a gap in there, it's because I had to connect these two LED strips together and have them share power, share the data, and share a whole bunch of stuff, basically to have this entire thing run and work. And one problem about this thing was that there's 2 big copper cables running, one with the LED strip on the front and one behind. There's a little channel behind the actual aluminum thing. And there's a little hole, it pops out, and it feeds power into the middle part, where it can supply power towards the further parts away from the actual computer and power source. So that's why those gaps are there. Let's change it into something else. One thing about this remote and about my computer is that it can't multitask, which means if it's giving information to the LEDs on what to do for them, or what the LEDs are supposed to do, it can't receive any signals from my remote, which means that I coded it that once I press a button, it pauses the code for a second or two, so that it has enough time for me to press the button again a second time, where it can actually listen to what I'm trying to tell it and put it into the mode I want. So that's how that works. That's why I have to double press everything and triple press if it decides to not do that. Alright, now let's go into the little power section. In here, you'll find the cables. All of these cables are running through my wall from the LEDs into here. And there's 4 copper cables that are connected together, the positive and negative wires, giving power to the actual LEDs, and then 4 smaller cables sending information back to me and telling what the computer should do from the IR sensor. This box is not big, but it's also not small, and it perfectly fits in my closet. I made a little tiny hole for everything to go through, and so nothing falls in or decides to start a fire. Now I'm warning you guys that it's going to be pretty messy in here, and it kind of looks like spaghetti. So yeah, it kind of looks like spaghetti right now. But there's a little fire alarm for safety. You can take that out to show you guys. And here it is. There's a little Arduino. There's a little, let me turn off my light. That is the Bluetooth sensor, Bluetooth receiver. If I wanted to, I can connect my phone to it with my app and control the LEDs a lot more conveniently than the IR controller. Over here is the power supply, and yeah, it's not overly complicated, but it's just a whole load of wires that connect stuff to another thing. This USB is what I use to debug and upload code to my computer. Little Arduino over there. I'll put this back, and yeah, it's in here. It's still a bit warmer than my room, so it doesn't heat up much. I tested it out with my little fan and saw how warm it got in here, and it didn't. So luckily I don't have to put any holes in here and drill any holes for fans. So yeah, that's my computer area. Alright guys, so we're gonna check out my app. It's called Dima's LEDs, and here it is. This app is a super simple app. There's not much going on with it, and I made it all on a website called MIT App Inventor 2. That website is great, and it's super simple to make an app for your first time. And since this is my first app I ever made, I recommend it to anyone who wants to build a simple app for anything. And the way you code it is with code blocks. Basically, you can drag on a like Lego type thing onto your computer screen, and it's like an if statement. If someone enters your app and their Bluetooth isn't on, you can send them a message saying like, turn on your Bluetooth or something, which popped up whenever I don't have my Bluetooth on. So let's connect to my LEDs, which are called HC06. That's the receiver name. Unfortunately, it didn't connect this time, but sometimes it takes a little bit since the receiver's in a metal box and it's behind a wall. So now we're connected. We can choose different modes, and what's really cool about this app is that it's instant. I kind of thought that there was gonna be maybe a second delay or a couple second delay, but it's pretty instant. You press it and it's already on your wall, doing whatever you pressed. The cool thing about this is that there's so much different modes I put in, like confetti, to juggle, to rainbow, anything you want. The middle has an off button if you want to turn everything off, and then the bottom bit has all the different colors and temperatures, from red, green, blue to really warm white to really cold white. On the bottom, there's a little brightness controller. It goes by 10%, and it goes from 10 to 100, which is really nice. And yeah, on the very bottom, there's a reset button. Just in case if my LEDs or the computer ever froze, I would have a way to completely reset it without having to crawl inside the box and press the button manually. So I can press it, it resets the entire Arduino, and it starts up again.